Hi everyone, and welcome to this Stage 7 betting preview for the Tour de France, brought to you by goodforthegame.co.za. Well, yesterday it finished in a sprint as expected, but unfortunately my man Tim Merlier didn't even get to sprint. His teammate Jasper Philipsen was the chosen one by the team Alpecin Phoenix. And I must admit, I don't understand the logic of this. Yes, they want to give Philipsen a chance, and quite frankly, I'm not that disappointed. I've got a little bit of money on him for the green jersey. But at the end of the day, to me, Merlier clearly the faster sprinter. And in the Tour de France, you back your faster sprinter. It really is as simple as that, in my opinion. So very, very surprised that they didn't sprint for him. But full marks again to Mark Cavendish. What a great victory. This man is now threatening to absolutely dominate the Tour de France. I'm going to have a look at the green jersey now, betting now. I haven't had a chance to have a look at that. We'll see what he's trading at there. My only question mark about Cavendish, and I'm thinking particularly for green now, is whether he's got the durability to sort of survive the 3 weeks out. I mean, he wasn't really preparing for the Tour de France as such, and really got in after Bennett pulled out. So I'm not sure how he's going to be in the mountains. But anyway, it's going to be a fascinating green jersey race. Now, if Cavendish stays in, well, it's his to lose, isn't it? Because he's going to be too strong in the sprints for a lot of these guys. Nasser Bahani's really shown some improved form. Another podium finish for him. Also, positive signs from Arnaud Demar. He hasn't been good up to date, but the team got him in a decent position yesterday, even though they did have some bad luck in running as well. Peter Sagan, he's still far from his best, but he's still collecting points. And if you take Cavendish out the equation, which I'm not suggesting you should, he's very much in the green jersey race still. While he was next best, and then Tim Merlier, who led Philipsen out. I'm very disappointed in that. I cannot believe the decisions the team are making there. Wout van Aert, he was 8th, and Michael Matthews and scoring green jersey points as well. Pedersen completed the top 10. Let's actually move straight to the betting then, and we'll have a look at some of the outright markets. Here I'm on Sunbet's stage market, but I just want to go to the outright betting, and we're not going to spend a lot of time on this because there wasn't a lot of changes. Pogacar still around the 1-3 mark there. Roglic 7-1 and Carapaz 14-1. That is, of course, for the classification winner. Mountain classification, well, we get into the mountains this weekend, so we'll start seeing some changes in the betting there. But for the meantime, Pogacar still trading a favourite there at 7-1. Here's the points classification. Mark Cavendish 5-4. He has shortened a bit there. Peter Sagan 4-1. Bahani 11-2. Matthews 11-2. Let's see where Philipsen is. I'm a little bit surprised Philipsen isn't. Oh, there we go. 6-1. So he's not far down in the betting. And Colbrelli, he just doesn't seem to have the speed. He's got every intent this year, and it looks like the toughest stages he might be able to score some points, but he really is just battling for front-end speed. Never been great in the positioning battle as well. See, Mathieu van der Poel there at 16-1. I think he's still probably not going to finish the Tour because of the Olympics, but, you'll see his favourite for today's stage. Wouldn't surprise me if this man sort of wins a stage and suddenly says, you know what, I'm right in the hunt for the green jersey, and kicks on and goes. He just is such a special rider. You just never know what you're going to get with him there. No other real betting update there. Movistar still trading at the 11-10 favourites for the team comp, and you haven't rider classification. Well, you take on Pogacar there at 1-12 if you want to. Let's go on to stage 7, and it's a nice rolling hill stage. These are the sort of stages I enjoy in the Tour de France. Ultimately, this is going to be too tough for the pure sprinters, but we've got an incredible length here, 249 kilometers. I was reading somewhere the longest stage in many a year. Very flat start, so you may well get a breakaway game that's not particularly strong. I know my colleague on Good for the Game and good mate Chris Sturdy fancies the breakaway could stick today, but I'm in the opposite camp. I don't believe so. I think at the end of the day, there are too many teams with incentives to keep this together. Van der Poel will be keen to stay in the yellow jersey, also fancy a stage win. Alaphilippe wants to have another crack at yellow. And then, of course, you've got the likes of Matthews and Colbrelli as well, who are looking for stage wins and green jersey points. And this is the opportunity to get rid of the likes of Cavendish. So I see them trying to be right there. The problem for the likes of Matthews and Colbrelli, and even Van der Poel to a degree, is that this last climb is pretty tough here. You see 5.7 kilometers at 5.7%. It's actually not the last climb, it's the penultimate climb. But it is tough. And then you've got a pretty steep climb here at the end here. Parts of it are pretty steep with a few kilometers to go. Bottom line is we're going to get a thrilling last 40, well, in fact, I would probably say a thrilling last 80 kilometers, but it's really going to, from this third last climb at about the 206 kilometer mark, you can expect the last 40 to 50 kilometers to be very exciting. We'll have a look at the betting now. Let's see who's likely to win. So as I said, I put my eggs in the basket there. I don't think the breakaway is going to stick. Will I go to World Sports Betting? They've of course got their money back special for first place, and if your pick runs second, and I'll just bring the brand up. The the brand. Gee whiz, it's been a long week for me. Tour de France 2021 second place refund. And I'm bringing this up particularly because I am going to be sticking Mathieu van der Poel into my staking plan today. He can win this a number of ways. He certainly, if he's feeling good, will attack on the final climbs. I think it's just going to depend quite possibly on the likes of a guy like Alaphilippe, because Alaphilippe's probably one of the few who can ride away from him on those climbs. And if Alaphilippe is feeling strong, Van der Poel might have to just hope that everything comes together for a bit of a sprint at the end. But Van der Poel can also win it. He can win it from a sprint. He can win it alone. I think he's a worthy favourite. Now, I've had a terrible Tour de France from a betting perspective, despite the fact that I've absolutely loved the race. That's why I bet smaller in cycling. But I'm going to have a bit of a go here, everyone. I'm going to try and make my money back in one fell swoop. And I'm taking a rather aggressive 3 units on Mathieu van der Poel at 6-1 at WSP, with the insurance that should he run second, I would get my money back. So that's the first bet for me there. Alaphilippe at 12-1, certainly a big runner. He's going to try and go it alone to win it, I've got no doubt. I just don't know if he's got the legs at the moment. Same for Wout van Aert. Not that he would go alone necessarily, but I just don't think Wout has got the legs. He just hasn't looked quite himself yet. He is, of course, coming off an appendicitis operation. That might explain it. Sonny Colbrelli, yes, if he can get to the end of this one, the climbs are tough. I fear he may lose some ground on the last couple of climbs, but he's certainly not without a chance at 16. Magnus Cort Nielsen, I caught him last year in one of the races. I can't even remember which one, at a nice big price where he managed to hang in over the climbs when all the other sprinters were shelled. Well, he must have a chance as well at 16. I won't go through everyone here. We got the likes obviously of Matthews and Peter Sagan. Don't rule out the breakaway. Chris, I think, has gone for Omar Fraley as one of his picks. Fraley also capable of winning, of course, with a late break. And I think that's personally more likely than the actual break, the initial break sticking. I think we could get a light break. Tadej Pogačar there as well. I just want to pop to Sunbet now because they're where I'm going for my next bet. And let's have a look at their stage betting here. Where am I? I blow it up a bit so the site looks different for me, because just so that it's easier to view on the YouTube. But here we see they also 6-1, 12-1, but there was a difference in pricing here which I liked. And this is my second selection for the stage. And I was only going to have a small interest in him, but when I saw the price, I got quite excited. And now, there we go. Tadej Pogačar, at 40-1 for the win. Now, Pogačar, at the end of the day, he's not going to necessarily be targeting this stage, but I don't see him letting anyone go. And I think he's going to look for the opportunity to put more time into Roglic and Thomas, because their injuries could still be bothering them. He's also shown that he's in remarkable form. So with the mountains coming, I don't think he's going to be the early aggressor necessarily, but I could well see him go along with anyone, even if Van der Poel or Alaphilippe make a break. And particularly if Roglic is not able to follow, I think Pogačar could be there. And we all know he's got a good sprint as well. In fact, the other part of the bet I like, you'll see here, is the Pogačar to place here. And what I've gone half a unit on Pogačar to win at 40-1, and 2 units that he top threes at 10-1 at Sunbet. That's my interest for today, everyone. Let's hope it's a cracking stage. I've got no doubt it will be. And I look forward to being with you on the weekend. I'll also send out my weekly newsletter, so there is a link in the description box below. If you'd like to join us on that one, get my thoughts on the week. But we are in for an exciting week of climbs. And this Tour de France, I can tell you, is only getting started. There's just going to be more to come. Have a great stage, and let's hope that this particular tipster, punter, Tour de France fan, call me what you want, can bounce back to some sort of form, because at the moment, as Southpaw said on the Good for the Game forum, it's starting to look like the Tour de Lee.